Gilead said, I can't take much more. I'm close to the edge. I'm about to lose my head. Lord, if you don't help me, I'm about to lose my mind. But God. When everything is black and dark and all hope seems to be lost, but God. Yes, there were some crazy days when your mind was playing tricks on you. When Mrs. Gilead said, two can play at this game. I deserve better and I'm going to have better. But I come to declare that just because the family is in a bad situation does not mean this painful process is their final destination. We learned this week that in every situation, there has to be an element of forgiveness. Come on, tell somebody, said, I've got to find it in my heart to forgive. Y'all ain't liking this, are you? If God has forgiven you, you must find the capacity to forgive him and her and them. Can I get a witness, somebody? But here's the deal, saints. And this is what I want you to consider on this Father's Day, and I'm going to sit down. And that is, though Gilead messed up, touch your neighbor and say, he messed up bad. Though Gilead was as wrong as two left shoes, Gilead did not become a deadbeat dad. Though he could have, he did not abandon and neglect nor forsake his child. You got to understand, baby, there was no DNA evidence tying Gilead to this child. There was no lingering sperm on the blue dress. The only testimony is the testimony of a whore who says, he's your baby. But Gilead could have said, Billie Jean is just my lover, but the kid is not my son. But Gilead, after he did the wrong thing, he turned around and did the right thing. Gilead stepped up to the plate and said, this is my child. I don't like the first part of this story, saints, but I like this part. Touch your neighbor and say, God is rewriting my story. The act that caused conception was a wicked act, but life is a gift from God. And Jephthah is a gift from God. God talked to his wife and said, Gilead, I thought about this today. This Mrs. Gilead must have been some saint, because she knows that hubby done played on her and got a woman pregnant. Not just some woman over there in Bethlehem, 300 miles away, or back over in Dan, 400 miles away, but in the city. And it ain't like he got, a virgin pregnant. It's some whore. And Mrs. Gilead, man, I can hear her say, some skanky hoe. Y'all know how we are, sure. Yeah. Skanky hoe. But Gilead went to his wife and said, baby, I messed up, and I messed up really bad. He said, that is my son. This boy is mine, and I'd like to bring him home. I don't want him to be raised up in the harlot's house. So he took that boy and he brought him home to Mrs. Gilead. Every time she looked at that boy, she thought about that hoe. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Every time. She knew what she looked like. She thought about it. So he took the boy home and he raised that boy. He taught him about God. He taught him how to fight. He taught him how to love. He taught him how to forgive. He taught him how to make mistakes. He taught him how to correct your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Pass the tissues. We all got issues. He taught him how to respect God. He taught him how to celebrate his gifts. No one could have taught him those lessons but his father. Mama did the best she could, and Mama tried to teach us some good lessons, but nobody can teach him these lessons like his daddy can teach him. Brothers, we made mistakes, but God told me to tell you, step up to the plate. And if you've done the wrong thing, now is the time to tell God, I'm sorry, but I want to do the right thing. And this is the part that really, really excites me. Though Jephthah was conceived in sin and shapen in iniquity, yet the hand of God was on this boy's life. God had his hand on this child from the womb. It gives me courage. It makes me smile that my mother and my father never were married to each other. And I was the bastard child, but God. They say, you so ugly. Michael, when Mama had you, you were so ugly that she cracked up. It's true, she had a nervous breakdown the very day that I was born. Nearly 60 years ago, she cracked up. Praise God. But God, I don't care what nobody say about you. If God be for you, he's more. Touch your neighbor and say, he's more. Come on, tell somebody, say, he's more. He's more than the whole world against you. Jephthah raised up in that house. God went into that prostitute's womb, touched that boy. After conception, God laid his hands on Jephthah. Just because you come from a bad situation don't mean everything gonna turn out bad for you. I hope you feel me today. I'm not encouraging what Gilead did, but I ain't gonna keep my head in the sand either. Touch your neighbor and say, stuff happens. Come on, we got to deal with some stuff. But after you've done the wrong thing, that's why God gives you mercy and grace, because he wants you to do the right thing. And Jephthah, that illegitimate child whom they kicked to the curb, whom the whole community knew and hated. See, it just wasn't the brothers that kicked him out. When the elders of Gilead came back and asked Jephthah to help them, he said, y'all, all of y'all kicked me out. You hated me. But now Jephthah got something that they need, something that God put in him. And Jephthah's life is so significant that he reappears in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, as one of those who are in the hall of faith. Jephthah is a tough warrior. And even though his daddy did the wrong thing, God told him, now do the right thing. And we have the story of Jephthah and his mighty exploits, and of his daughter, that precious virgin, who is celebrated in Israel even to this day as a woman who committed her whole life to God and decided never to marry because of the vow that her dad had made. After you've done the wrong things, brother, it's time for you to do the right thing.